Hello and welcome to another horror detour. If you haven't seen any of the previous videos in this series, please do click the annotation or look down below. But you don't need to watch them in any order. Basically, in this video series, my name's Mike. How do you do? And I like to talk about horror with all of you. We discuss certain points back and forth and have a bit of fun. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about what is the monster or creature in the horror genre which terrifies you most? Which one really gets to you, really scares you, makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up? You know what it is to be scared. Um, so I'll talk a little bit about what I think is the most frightening creature within the horror world, and then you can tell me. So for me, I'm actually going to go with two because I find it difficult to choose between them. So the first one is going to maybe be a little bit of a surprise because I don't know if many people find this frightening, but it's the werewolf. It's actually always scared me. I used to always joke to my friends that, oh, I'll go toe to toe with any creature to protect the people I love, but if it's a werewolf, you're on your own. um, I think that there's something terrifying about the werewolf. Not so much about being it, because I know a lot of the time that's the element that they explore, where if you're a werewolf, you have to go through this cycle where when the full moon comes out, you turn into this beast and you could kill and murder and maim anyone. You bite someone, you turn them into a werewolf. It's a whole mess. And you could kill a loved one, you could do anything. You're just an absolute, it's the beast within that's being unleashed. And for a lot of people, that would be a terrifying thing. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that would be a very nice thing to experience. But for me, it's actually just, I don't know, it's this hulking mass, this thing that's almost unstoppable. I mean, if you go by the old Hollywood mythos, obviously it can be stopped with like a silver bullet. But when do you have them? I don't have a bullet, let alone a silver one. Um, and it feels like, depending on what mythos you sort of follow, there's very little which will stop a werewolf. I remember I used to think as a kid, I used to sit and think, how would you stop one? How would you stop one? And then I remembered, oh, do you know what? I'll blow it up, stick a dynamite, easy, done. Werewolf, you are gone. But no, as we see in other films such as Monster Squad, when a werewolf is blown apart, it joins all back up together. I'm not sure if that's canon or not. But yeah, that terrified me. I thought, right, okay, so I can't even blow it up. I can't even blow it up. But werewolves to me, just they have this. It's something that you cannot reason with. I think that's a big part of it. You cannot speak to this thing and try to talk it down in any way. Even something as evil and as manipulative as a vampire, you feel as if maybe you would stand a chance in some way of manipulating it back or talking your way out of it somehow. But with a werewolf, there's nothing. It's essentially like facing a bear or something like that, only even worse, because at least there are have been recorded moments where bears have like stopped or haven't attacked people, but like where werewolf, you just think they'll attack anything that they see. So once you see one, you're a goner, and that's it. So that's the first monster I would talk about that always terrified me. In fact, I think it actually goes back to American Werewolf in London. Seeing that film as a kid, probably shouldn't have watched it as a child. Had one of my first crushes on Jenny Agutter in that film, but probably shouldn't have seen it. Fantastic movie, very funny. But I think the beginning when they're walking across the moors and they walk off the path and it's the full moon and they're cold and they hear the howl of the wolf, that scene is still really frightening. As funny as that movie is, there are some genuinely frightening moments, and it manages to achieve being a comedy and a horror at the same time, which is really difficult to pull off. But that always terrified me, the start of that. And I used to have a recurring dream where in the living room of my mum and dad's house, where I grew up, there was we had a door that had a plastic panel in it, and the panel was like a sort of orangey yellow colour, and I used to have this recurring dream that I was in the living room and on my own, it was dark, and I would turn around and I would hear something come through the door in the hall, and then slowly walking down the hall towards this door, and then I would just see this thing on all fours through that plastic. It used to terrify me. So that's one that really scares me. But I think I may have to just give the edge to supernatural elements, to things like a poltergeist or a possession, or it's any sort of ghost or spirit, something that is immaterial. Where is it? You don't know where it is. You can't quantify it. You don't know what it is. It's so far removed from the normal fears that a human being would experience from wild animals and things like that. You don't know what agency it has. How does it think? It's something so different from you. But I think not knowing where it is, and I think we've all felt that feeling sometimes when we're in some place that's maybe a little bit spooky. We're on our own, and we maybe feel like there's something else there. I mean, it's probably just in our imagination, but we feel it anyway, and that's a really creepy experience, and one which definitely plays on our minds. It plays on my mind, and many of the stories that have scared me the most by writers like M.R. James, Algernon Blackwood, W.W. Jacobs, these sorts of writers who wrote great supernatural fiction, this idea of some vengeful spirit always scared me more. As a kid, again, some of that probably goes back to films more than stories, like Poltergeist and things like that. For some reason, the bit in Poltergeist that always terrified me was where the guy starts clawing, he hallucinates and claws his own face off. That just always stayed with me. But there's a film from 1963 called The Haunting. I've talked about it many times before. It's my favourite horror film, and it's directed by Robert Wise, and it's really frightening. It's based on the book, the House on Haunted, no, not House on Haunted Hill, Hill House. What is it called? That's terrible. I can't even remember. That is awful. I've had an absolute blank about not just a book that I'm very fond of, but a film that I'm even more fond of. I think I might have Alzheimer's. I want to say The Legend of Hill House. Is that what it's called? Someone can Google and correct me. I need one of those Google chips that will rewrite my brain, because I seem to be losing my memory. Anyway, that book and that story really frightened me. It really captured what it is to experience a haunting, because there's always the psychological question of, is it in the people, if it is in their heads, or is it actually an objective thing? Are they being haunted by their lives, by their past, or are they being haunted by something that is objectively real? And I think that's probably more frightening than anything else. Other films as well, like The Changeling with George C. Scott, that really scared me as well. When he's in this big old house and he hears all sorts of noises going on, it definitely terrified me. The Woman in Black, not really the Daniel Radcliffe version, but the original story. I've also seen the play and the original made-for-television version from the 1980s. They're all really, really creepy. I thought the Daniel Radcliffe version was okay, but it was more about jump scares than real building of supernatural and tension and dread, which is what I really like. But anyway, so the idea of this this immaterial thing that you don't know where it is, you can't peg it down, that has always scared me. So those are the two. I've had to pick two creatures from horror literature, horror film, etc. It would be the werewolf and the spirit, or demonic spirit, or whatever you want to, however you want to put it. It wouldn't be just bear with me. It wouldn't be Chester, which if you watched one of the live streams you'll know Callum gave me this for my Christmas during the Christmas live stream. Chester, North Skerringham meets Chester from Birmingham. Looks a little bit like Casper, doesn't it? I think that's what they were going for. What a party. Check that out. In fact, there's a werewolf. There's a werewolf. So anyway, I digress. So what are your most frightening creatures or monsters within the horror genre? What really terrifies you? What makes you sit up late at night after you've read a book or watched a film and or played a video game in the horror genre and just really just goes round and round and round your mind? So that's what I want to know from you. I'll be back soon with another horror detour video and probably some other content. And yeah, that's all for now. Stay creepy and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.